LEGO Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit is a beloved LEGO theme by many and one of my favorite themes as well. So in 2014, we got a third wave of Hobbit sets. Many of us were very disappointed to see no Lord of the Rings wave to go along with it, and then even more disappointed when the entire Middle-earth theme, Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, was officially canceled the following year. But today I will be discussing the possibilities for the third wave and what LEGO Lord of the Rings Wave 3 could have been. In this video, I will be including 6 set ideas, and we'll be going from the cheapest to the most expensive set. So starting out here, I have the Doors of Durian, or the Gate to the Mines of Moria. It would have an estimated cost of about $20. It would include the doors, of course, with maybe some small rock builds to the side, and then the Watcher, which is the monster who attacks the Fellowship in the scene, not the Watcher from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Watcher is what would really make the set so expensive, but I think it would be a very interesting build. For minifigures, of course, LEGO would not include the entire Fellowship here, but I think it would be great to see a few of the members. Probably Gandalf, Merry, and Sam here, which is a solid selection for $20. You get 3 or a third of the Fellowship. You'd also have the ability to connect this to the Mines of Moria set from 2012, and another set we will see later on the list. Next, we have a set based off of The Return of the King, and this would be the Fel Beast, which, if you don't know, is the dragging looking thing that the Witch King rides around on in the film. In the set, you would get just the Fel Beast, so I think $30 or $40 would be a good price point. That would make sense. The beast would be brick built, similar to the Harry Potter Hungarian Horntail, but much bigger, of course. The head would get a new mold, and there would be a place to seat the Witch King on it. Speaking of the Witch King, let's get into the figures. I would include the Witch King, of course, Eowyn, which would be a brand new figure and character. She would make much sense here as she killed the Witch King. And then I would also include Gandalf the White and Pippin, so you could recreate the scene where the Witch King breaks Gandalf's staff. This would also be a nice cheap way to get Gandalf the White when he was previously exclusive to the Black Gate. Following that, we have a set I am very surprised LEGO never made in the Wave 2 or even Wave 1, and that is the battle at Amon Hen. I guess this scene is where Boromir is shot with many arrows and dies, but LEGO wouldn't have to include that part. I would say the set would cost around $50 for builds. I would have this staircase looking thing here, a few small statues, and then maybe a tree or two with some like stone entrances, which could include a spring-loaded shooter in the trees or the stone entrances, or maybe even a flip fire missile. Figures would include Boromir, of course, since this is his death scene, Gimli, Legolas, and then for the bad guys there would be Lurtz and a couple of Urkai. Halfway through the list, we have a set from the Two Towers, and technically the set could have been based off of The Return of the King, but because we only have 4 Two Towers sets, I wanted to base it off of the Two Towers just so that we got some more stuff from that film. And it is the Oliphant Attack. It would cost $80 or maybe $90. The Oliphant would be brick built, as it would have to be a huge mold to capture the scale of the thing, and LEGO would not do that. On top, you would have the seating area with room to fit multiple minifigures, as well as a spring-loaded shooter up top. The minifigures included would be Frodo, Sam, Gollum, and the new characters would be some of the servants of Sauron, and then Faramir and some of his men who attack the Oliphant and find Frodo and Sam. I would also have to include a side build for Frodo, Sam, and Gollum to hide as they watch the action unfold. Next, we have a set I'm kind of glad that we didn't get back in the day, but I would really like to see now, and that is the Balrog, just because of how much better it could be today. Remember how I was saying that the Doors of Durian would connect up with the Mines of Moria and something else? Well, this is that thing. And of course, it wouldn't actually physically connect, it would just go well with it. The Balrog would be huge with the price of $130. It'd be similar in size to the Monkey Kid mech from 2020, which that set is $150, but includes a building that would probably go for around $20 if sold separately, so this would pretty much be the exact price. The Balrog would of course have his massive wings and fire whip, which he uses to pull Gandalf down into the chasm with him. The figures for the set were fairly easy to come up with, but sadly I couldn't come up with anyone new to put here but an exclusive variant for Frodo with his armor on, which saves him when the troll stabs him. The other characters would be Legolas, Aragorn, 2 or 3 Moria orcs, and most obviously Gandalf. Frodo could also have an exclusive face where he yells, and finally we have the biggest set, which is something I'm actually very surprised we never actually saw in LEGO, even more surprised than everything else, and it is Barad-dûr, or Sauron's Tower, with the eye on it. It is one of, if not the most iconic things from the trilogy. I would price it at $300 or $350, which is actually realistic since the Tower of Orthanc was $200, and this tower would have to be taller, include the eye, and have more of a structure at the bottom. It would most likely just be a wall or two to put around the tower. And for the figures, this was quite challenging, but I would include around 10 Mordor orcs, the Witch King, the Mouth of Sauron, which we previously saw in the Black Gate, and then a minifigure version of Sauron himself, like the one from LEGO Dimensions, but with probably more leg printing, which I know wouldn't be accurate, but would be extremely cool. And that's going to wrap up this video. I had a lot of fun coming up with my ideas for if LEGO made a Wave 3, and hopefully they will someday. If you enjoyed watching, please consider liking and subscribing, as it really helps a lot and pushes the YouTube algorithm to push the video to more people so they can enjoy as well. And leave your picks for Wave 3 in the description below, and that is what LEGO Lord of the Rings Wave 3 could have been.